and welcome to Friday's lesson for English, week 4. So today we will be looking at our learning wall again, remembering that our learning intention is we are learning to write a movie review, retelling events and giving a recommendation. Now you can see from yesterday's lesson, my 5-finger retell is up on my learning wall. So that can help us today as well when sequencing events and writing a retell. Now today we will be successful if we can sequence and retell main events from the movie Camp Rock. Today you will need a lesson plan, a pencil, a rubber, scissors, glue, and pictures from Camp Rock. Now before we get started in cutting up our pictures and sequencing them, we might have a little bit of a recap. So we need to look at different parts of the movie. So if we think back to last term when we focused on a narrative, we had a hand sign for each different part of the narrative, and we're going to do that for the movie as well because it is the same as a narrative. So in a narrative, we had our beginning. So we had a hand sign like this for beginning to demonstrate the setting and the characters. We then had a hand sign for complication because it gets to a point where it's really complicated. Something happens and after that there is a series of events that unfold after that complication. And that leads us into a resolution. So the ending. Now today we might actually make a new hand sign because something that our narratives didn't have, when writing a narrative, you could say what happens in the end, whereas in a movie review, you can't give away the ending. So even though we are looking at the ending of the movie, when we write our movie review, we are not writing about the ending of the movie. So we need to come up with a word to remind us not to give it away. Now, the word for it is spoiler. So if you give away the ending in a movie review, they call that a spoiler. So I want you to brainstorm and think, what could a hand sign be for spoiler? Okay, I came up with one myself, and I'm sure yours are much more creative, but I just came up with 2 thumbs down. That's a spoiler because it spoils the end of the movie. We don't want that, so I put the thumbs down for that sign. Now, if you want to, you can take a photo of your hand sign and send it to me, email it to me, and I can put it on my learning wall here. And let's move on to actually organizing and sequencing our pictures now. Okay, you can see I've cut up all of my photos. I've actually cut them up into groups of 4 because they've been grouped into 4 events. So I found this one first. There's a picture of the name of the movie. Then we have Mitchie sitting at the table eating breakfast with her mum. From memory, she was watching The Famous Shane on TV. She's asking her mum to go to Camp Rock here. Her mum said, no, we can't afford it. And then later on, her mum and dad surprise her and say she can come to Camp Rock if she works in the kitchen with her mum. So I'm about to take the time to write 2 or 3 sentences, putting all of what I just said into 2 or 3 sentences. And I'd like you to do the same. Okay, I've done that now. You can see a picture here and a matching 3 sentences. So I wrote, Mitchie is watching the news about The Famous Shane. She asks her mum to go to Camp Rock, but they can't afford it. Her mum and dad then surprise her and say yes. So they're my 3 sentences. I'm going to start the beginning here and move along to the complication and resolution, retelling all those events like that. Okay, you can see I've blue tacked it to my learning wall there, and I'm now going to take a photo of myself with my hand sign for spoiler and just put that up on our learning wall to remind us what a spoiler is and what it means for further on when we start writing our movie review. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. If you do want to send those photos through, I will put it up on the learning wall for the next lesson of your hand sign for spoiler. And have a great day of learning at home.